And welcome in, everyone. Before we get into this evening's live, I would like to touch base with a few things that's going on across the market and what I think is relevant. If some of you were in here before, for some reason YouTube just decided to start the live, but it didn't even have it on like screen record or anything. It was just recording. Any issues since the update on YouTube, it's been kind of annoying, but you know, we work with it how it goes. So moving on from that, XRP right now is flat on the day. Suspected it. We haven't, as far as the consolidation right now, we've dropped down. We were up at about 61, almost 60. Was it about 61.4 at the high just a day and a half ago? Yesterday we closed, when we were talking yesterday, we were right around 60 cents. So we've basically we've done nothing, diddly squat, which is good. This is what we want to see. We're coiling up. Some of the key indicators are flipping bullish here when you look at the RSI, which is the relative strength index, and the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence. We'll read a little bit going into those a little bit deeper, as we do have, well, we'll read a little bit, but one key thing I want to read is the Ripple XRP rally to 68 cents in the coming days possible under conditions. And it's going to talk about in here what I want to show. There's some nice charts that actually correlate what we're talking about, and we'll be able to look at it. It's a very small read, but I think it's something very important. We'll go over the, if you're copy trading me, the exact issue that's going on with copy trading. I opened up a trade today because I want to buy this structure, and if it fails, it was like, I think with what I put in so far, if this fails and it comes below, we would lose $17. So that's about where we stand. The issue is here, I had to do it on a 5X because of the exchange issue that's going on, and this is well known now. At least what I'm dealing with, and a few others are, and we're working on the compensation, yada yada yada, but that's not what I want to talk about. I want to show you the exact example of what I'm talking about, so you don't have to guess what I'm talking about. So when we get into this, I'll show you this right off the bat. We got to get into the XRP chart. We've got plenty of room over the 2018 resistance still, and as we're using it as support, so it's not like that's up for grabs. That's way below us. What we need to remember is we're working on a nice reversal here, and this is the structure I'm talking about. My stop loss is it's at like 58.22. But remember, this is on USD, so if you're doing that, you have to base it on USDT, yada yada yada. So it's well below this right here. I want to give this structure time to work. If it doesn't work, I still think this is a bump and run that needs to finish off here, and this is a cup and handle that needs to end time finish about, even if it's at worst case, at least finish this off, as this should be the handle here, and hopefully it should push up here and finish this to 64 cents. That's what I feel like it's going to do, and I'm trying to play this formation. Now if it breaks down, obviously that's the value of having a stop loss, and then you try to buy it when it ends up reaching the more local support again, and then see what happens if that's the case. I'm buying something that I'm seeing in front of me. If it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. Sometimes they don't. But the issue is, and we'll get into it, is that there's a differential right now, and it's almost like a negative funding fee, I'd like to call it. And we'll look at Bitcoin as it looks bad, down 1%, looks red, but I'm going to show you every reason why I still think that this is very likely going to play out as a bear trap, because it don't seem right to me. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, it might be a buy the rumor, sell the news, or, well, if that's the case, you're buying the rumor that the Fed's going to cut rates, and you would sell the news when it actually happens. So I think right now this was a consolidation, and it was actually down farther than where it's at now. We had to dump down a little bit earlier, and let's see exactly where it went to. $59.45. I know when we were back here, we were at $59.24. So, today we were lower earlier in the AM than we are right now. But we've been trying to work on a reversal here recently, but we're just not able to pull any, we're not able to put anything together right now. It is a nice descending consolidation, so we've got a lot to look at in this live, Make sure that like button, I think we can do a lot better than 30 out of 84 on it. I really, really do. You got stopped out on Oh, I got you. You're playing all the bumps, $10 to $20 off each. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, that you can do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'll also say hi to everybody. So please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube can recommend this update. I mean, this live. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that support. I really would. It would mean the world to me if you hit that like button. Then my content becomes recommended by YouTube, which means I pop up on the YouTube newsfeed when you're scrolling through YouTube. And we're very close to 23,000. With the current momentum we've gained on the channel, as we gained 68 new subscribers yesterday, and we've got about 50 more today already. I suspect we're going to be at 23,000 by tomorrow or the next day. So help us push, as we're over 22,800. Help us hit that next milestone of 23,000 and help new eyes find this community. You'll have a second here to hit that like button. I'll catch you on the other side of the intro. Good evening. 6:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry. I was just trying to read some stuff here, and I gotta move something because I don't want everybody to see everybody's information. So I'm gonna pull up a chart here that somebody shared with me. But I had some people send me messages. I've got a few of you that might be in the audience that sent me messages in the email. So I'm gonna put this into the private side so nobody can see what everybody's sending me. Sorry, I don't want everybody's information to be shared. I don't like that kind of stuff. You never know who's watching. That's the bottom line. Not that I don't trust my audience. You know, you can never be too safe when it comes to everybody's safety. So yeah, but we've got a lot of stuff to talk about here. XRP, it gives the illusion here that it's bearish. I don't believe that's the case here. I really don't. I could be proven wrong. You know, I could be proven wrong. And if that's the case, so be it. It'll invalidate the structure, and then we'll have to try again. And that's what trading is. You win some, you lose some. I think some are getting the false bravado because I seem to win a lot, that I'm always going to win. Not the case. Not the case by a long shot. I am no expert, besides the fact that I have a good grasp on things. And the fact that I do this all the time. So Levi shared with us. This is his cup and handle, remember? We talked about it yesterday. This is the breakout here. And yes, we've created a pattern within the handle as well. So we've clearly come out of this formation, and now we've created a small cup and handle within the handle formation. So this seems to me now that we're going to come up here at least to 61 and a half, and I'll show you what I mean by that. And we'll go back to this chart. And thank you, Levi, so much. And if you're in the audience, kudos to you for being such an influential part. It's that simple. Let me go on this chart because this doesn't have a lot of writing. This is just when I want to look at a chart without anything in front of it. So if we look at this in the small time frame too, not only have we created this pattern where it looks like it wants to come up to 64, or at least up to the top, but we need to round up here and break this. And this is the shorter pattern that now has been formed here. And this would bring it up to about 61.2. And then if you bring it up to the top, it's like 62.3. Well, actually a little bit higher than that. 64. So you've got a layer here. We've created a layer here, almost like it created a short-term cup. It's almost, did that not mimic what the actual, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This got a freaking, holy shit. When you want to talk about manipulation and how they can manipulate and they almost want to play games, boom, 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 right? Watch this. And then it does the up, boom, boom, boom. It even did the same points. That's creepy. Oh, but I'm sure it's just by coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. It created the exact same setup in front of us, just in a smaller form. Does everybody see that? It created the exact same set. Look at this. This whole setup is mimicked right here. Even the drop that preceded it. Even the rise up. That's pretty creepy. That's craziness. Hey, well, at least we know what the pattern's looking like, right? So that's an interesting pattern out in front of us right now. But I definitely see that out in front of us. So we're gonna have to watch this. It sure is the great falling excellent fractals. Yes indeed. Yes indeed. It is the algos. I agree. And great falling, I seen your comment earlier in the comments. You're right. There's always that drop. But when everybody thinks it's gonna come up, right? We were looking like the breakout was about to happen yesterday. We were close. And look, just from yesterday, let's say somebody got excited and they bought it at 61, just over 61. At the biggest drop, it had dropped down almost 5%. That's a big correction from the top. From the move up, that's over 50% correction. That's an excellent correction in my mind. And then what I'm liking, what I'm seeing here too, as we start talking about this analysis today, and then we'll get into some of the finer details so I can get past it. And now this later part here, since it moved up, it kind of looks like now that after this handle started to move up, man, these updates are just ridiculous. It used to have a delete feature right there. Now all of a sudden, you got to pull off of that. TradingView's got to get it together. Someone's going to come along and they're going to snatch away what TradingView thinks they have, but nobody has yet. You know, I like to see this. This very well looks like it's tightening up now. But we need to make sure the integrity of this stays. We want to make sure first hit, second hit, maintain these higher highs. This is what you want to maintain the structure of now. You know, we've got this, and we basically got this set up. It's an extension of what we played out. That's what we got set up. We got an extension. So we're going to start to look at some of the finer technicals here. You might be looking back, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Is he serious? He wants me to watch him? Well, there's a lot more that go into these charts than just my rambling right now. Yes, I will, John. I will, but just understand Gala and all of these other ones with the market the way it is. It's a very timely thing. You know, it hasn't technically hit my target yet to buy, but it's actually within range. It's just, I'll try to show where it could go. There's no guarantee, obviously, but we'll show where it could go. But I fully anticipate XRP to come up here and hit 61.84 on this and finish this cup up here, up at around 64. I'd be shocked if it doesn't at this point. If it doesn't now, you know, it's going to be pretty interesting what's going to happen. I mean, it seems like it's set up. We got the full cup lined out. We've got a nice handle in proximity. And now it's created a small formation out of the hand. It's really fucking... That's a beautiful setup, too. And to me, it seems like it's going to go to 68.5 as we talked about. That's the ultimate point here. Is once we break that, we got 68.5. And then ultimately it's higher. But I think a big likelihood here is that we'll end up playing up initially when we do. Even if we do this, who knows? Because knowing how they manipulate the market, that very well could happen as well. I just don't want to see that happen because we've already retested it so much. To do this again makes me feel like we'll just come through way too ambitious. So, what I'm thinking here is if this bump and run plays out like it should, because it started to, it just hasn't finished it, because the bump and run often is just a precursor to a cup and handle, as most of you know, who understand technicals. So now, let's say how it swung, it put in this nice handle, and now it's ready to go, finally. Now, what if it does break out, hit 68, back test to 64, and then it bounces up? See, that's something that very well could happen. I'm not saying it's going to go right away, because what's going to end up happening, it's going to hit 64, consolidate down, then maybe come up, then back test 64, because it's going to have a resistance hit, back test, and then it's going to have a support hit on the top of it the next time it goes over. So there's going to be both sides will probably play out simultaneously, as in up, back down a little bit, back over, back down real quick, and then it's going to do what it's going to do. This is a very profound setup here. It's very profound. So it's got me intrigued, and these are the kind of setups that I personally bought myself in my real life. So I said, hey, people want to copy trade me. If we go down and we have some pain here, they're going to understand that copy trading isn't all guts and glory. Sometimes it looks like something, you think it's set up, you think you've got all the things working in your favor, and it doesn't work out. In this case, I still believe it's going to work out in our favor. So we'll see what happens. But one thing that's really putting a hinder to what I can do here, and let's go into the futures real quick, copy trading. We've got, at least right now, if you're doing it, we're up $194.45. If you follow from beginning to end, that's what we're up. And we hit at 67.4%. We've hit 43, what is that? 43 transactions, 29 wins, 14 losses. But the current trade and the issue that I've been dealing with here, and some of you might see it, some of you might not. So let's go to XRP. And this is a big problem. Right now, you see the trade. It shows open price 59.67 is the average. And I did a 5x here instead of 10 just because of this issue that's happening on the exchange. And with Ethereum and Bitcoin, it's less noticeable. So the next time I do a copy trade, I'll likely pull away from everything besides Ethereum and Bitcoin, just because of how much market capitalization they have. It seems to have less of this problem, at least in my experience. So right now I've got $181 in this trade. And it's only a 5x, so normally this would be $107 maybe, but that'd be equivalent to 214 of what I have right now, margin-wise. So I still have some work to do if I want to bring it up. So it only looks like it's at 59.62. I got to buy in at 59.67, right? Wrong, because look at the actual price on the exchange that it's given us. 59.47, and that's basing the plus minus on it. And where the fuck do they get that number? You know, that's what I mean. So it's given us two different numbers. And this was the copy trading issue we had the other night. And now they're not going to keep reimbursing. This is on us now because we see it in real time. And I still want to buy the setup. But that's my issue. Market price says 59.64. But up here it says 59.49. And, you know, the moment I sell out, that will go back to fit exactly what it shows on the market price. So I don't know where this side of the what's happening here, but they're saying that it's because they're updating their system, which I have no reason to deny it or doubt it, because they've been transparent. Alice is the one who I feel like a backstage pass with, because of everybody who signed up. I've got a little priority here when I say something, because I just threatened to stop talking about the exchange. It's like, you're going to help us or I'm just going to leave. And this is the issue I'm dealing with. So right now, we're down $2.88. Like, no fucking big deal. I mean, it's nothing to even complain about. The thing I'm saying is we should be basically even. Market price says 59.65, and I bought in at 59.67 with all the purchases all together. When I first bought in, my average was 59.77. Right now, I brought it down to 59.67. That's why I like doing what I do. But that's the issue right now. That's the issue right now. So you guys see what I'm saying? Yeah, and on BITUNIX, I'm in a trade as well, and it shows the exact same thing as the actual market price for HOTCOIN, but it's giving you that price. It's giving you that price. So BITUNIX will say market price, and then this will say the same exact thing on the top, or at least very close. So I don't know what's going on, why there's a separate number, but that's the issue I've been having. So if you're copy trading, just be aware of this fact. You know, be aware of this. And there's a reason why I trade at $100, and it's a $100 to $1,000 challenge when we started. And right now, one last time, and this is the last time talking about it, we have, we started with $100. We have, and I'm able to take out this additional amount of money because we built our account up to $294.45 off the initial 100. We've been doing this for 65 days. I had a 10-day period where I refused to trade and turned off copy trading, which I can do at any time. I can trade the lead or suspend the lead trade because of exchange issues, and I got to figure it out. Right now, it's not that. I know what I'm doing. I know what's happening. So that's, and then if you look statistically, you know, you can look over time. It's not always pretty. It's a bumpy road, ladies and gentlemen, when you're copy trading. If you look at this in totality, look how bumpy it's been. But, you know, it goes good and it goes bad. But it's about the longevity of it. You know, if you give up when you have one bad bump, like, look, we had a nice hot start, 12.4, came all the way back down, and now we just, over time, built it back up to, what was it right here? Almost 3 times higher than where we were at, you know, at our top point before we had the massive, unfortunate incident with ADA, which alluded us to what was going on a little bit. But yeah, so that's what I'm dealing with. So it's not just, hey, it's why do you do this? Why do you do that? There's a reason why, too, I do things the way I do it. So anyhow, no. I tried BLOFIN. I love the exchange. Like, if you're leverage trading, I have it in the video description below. I would highly encourage BLOFIN from a leverage perspective, because when you leverage trade, it doesn't close at 78%. You get to keep it open until it's 100% liquidated, until they close your position. So for that regard, but I tried copy trading, and it really screwed us because it doesn't add on to trades. So if I start off with 50 bucks and then I add 10, add 15, add 20, like I was doing on this trade, I started with 100, it's built up to 180 over time. It won't have a continuation on the trade on BLOFIN. So I can't do it. It's got to be 100% transparent too. If I want to add to a trade to lower our buy-in target, you know, like our average cost, it's got to stack it on. It won't do that for BLOFIN. So until otherwise, you know, I can't do it. I don't think you need to worry about some losses. Nothing is 100%. Yeah, Rob, I agree. I agree with that, Rob. No, but a lot of people do, Rob. They get very... And I'm not talking about from the copy trading. I'm talking about when you're spot trading even. How many people in here, whether you're a newcomer to crypto or you've been trading and you're a seasoned veteran, how many of you have put into it? I'm just saying in a trade. How many of you have bought into a trade, and let's say you buy in at a spot. Let's say you bought in yesterday at 60 cents. You're like, hey, we got to close over 60 cents. This is fantastic. I'm going to buy my spot here. You know, this seems like a good as time as ever. Looks like a bull flag to me. I'm buying it in, right? And now today they're like, what the hell? I'm down like 0.75% today. I thought, and that's not even a big amount, but it's still 0.75%. Or, God forbid, they were like, you know, I see this bull flag, and man, I think it's going to go to 64 possibly here, and I'm going to buy a spot position. I'm going to make some 4.5%. Now all of a sudden they're sitting here and they're like, what the hell? It's down 4.5% this morning. And then what do? Or not this morning, but from the top from there. They sell it. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, what the hell? Now it's back up, reverse 2%. It's the moment. They have $1,000 in a trade and they're down 45 bucks and like, uh-oh. My thousand's only worth $9.45 or $9.55. If that's how you think in a trade, get out. Like, stop trading. I'm going to tell you right now, 95% of the trades I get in, I may make 50% or 20%, or there may be a $5,000 profitable trade, depending on how much money I'm using on spot or whatever the case may be. But during those trades, I've had a trade where I made $5,600 this year. I was down almost $1,000 on that trade, and I kept buying into it because I thought that it was in a proper position. Had the market have collapsed at any time, I would have been on the hook for about $1,000. But I kept building it in, and it was getting closer to where my limit was. But it's that same philosophy. You could have $100 in, and all of a sudden you're down 25 bucks. You're down 25%. And instead of buying 25 bucks more, which is my beautiful philosophy, you're up, you have a $100 trade, it's down $25, and you believe in the setup. Why not just buy $25 more and make that original buy-in whole? And then when it comes back up, you know, you can make an additional like $12.50. Mike Stevenson, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years. Wow, with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Wow. And a $50 donation on top of that. Holy tamales. Holy tamales. A $50 donation on a bearish day? But can we be honest? Do we see that bull flag here? I see a bull flag. It could break down. It could cut our throats. It could break our backs, ladies and gentlemen. But that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. There's no greater rush especially when you hit on one, than trying to figure this out. There's no greater defeat than thinking every small loss is going to be a permanent event. There's so many people that email me and say, Tom, I'm trying. I have $1,000 is all I had in the savings and I put it in crypto. Take it back out. Just hear me out. Take it back. Cash it out. Take it back out. If you're going to go that approach, buy gold. In this case, buy silver. It's undervalued. Even if you got to buy the paper note of gold or silver. I'm just saying, if you put it in crypto and then you're down 25%, you're going to be all messed up in the head. And then you're like, oh my God, now I only have $750 in my name. Mike says, thank you for the positive attitude all the time. I really enjoy your insight. Can't let that... I missed the last part, but I'm going to look on my phone because I have to see that. After a $50 donation, that's unbelievable. Unbelievably generous. That's why I always tell everybody that pay it forward mentality holds no bounds. I may not charge for any of my content, but there's many members of Tom's Army, and there's a lot of people that pay it forward, as Mike did. First person to send a donation this evening, and I greatly appreciate it. He says, thank you, Tom. I really enjoy for your positive attitude all the time. I really enjoy your insight. You're making us all a better trader, my friend. Thank you. You're welcome, my friend, and I appreciate that. I'm the 11th like on that donation. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Yes, Rob, only play with what you're willing to lose is the best advice. I even did the $100 to $1,000 challenge for a reason that way, because I wanted to make sure everybody who could get in at $100, even if we went 100 to 0 and we didn't achieve our $100 to $1,000 challenge, at least, yes, it's $100. We had fun, and then we could ask again, are we willing to try this again? And then maybe we would have learned something from the first time around. Fortunately for us, it's gone in a positive way. And I believe that's with experience, because I've learned a lot over the years, and I've had a lot of failures and a lot of successes. But fortunately, we've turned that $100 right now into $296, I believe it said. So we're up 196%. So even if we lose $17, we've built up a wall to where now we have 179. Now the problem is the ones who didn't buy in the beginning, and then they join in later, and then now all of a sudden maybe this is their first trade. And now they're down 17 bucks and like, what the fuck? I'm down 17%. Screw this guy. I'm cashing out and I'm out. Some of you are in the audience right now and know what I'm talking about, who gave up earlier. I guarantee it. Jan, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for 32 months and having the I told you so badge. Thank you so much for that, love. That is so incredibly awesome. Still here, and you are an original gangster, indeed, an OG in the house. Oh, yeah. JW, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I told you so badge. George Athanasovich. Man, he's really going to make me work for this one, ladies and gentlemen. George Anthon Nassov. I'm just going to call you George Athens. George Athens. Thanks for joining Tom's Army, being in your first month. And I know it's your first month because you have the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. I kid you not, that's my face superimposed on there. And if Amber's in the abyss somewhere, circa 2018 XRP Future Millionaire, which I wasn't even thought of, she sent that to me one day, and I greatly appreciate it. And I asked her to superimpose my face, and she did. So now that became the forever first month badge in Tom's Army. It's awesome, just awesome. And thank you so much for that, mister. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that, George Athanasov. Athanasov. So I'm just going to call you George. George Athan. George Athan, thank you so much. Ian, thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by Ian. Says you're a good man, Tom. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Somebody said something about Jesus. Don't forget to thank your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Some get mad when I talk spiritually, but you know, that's in my bones. I'm not pushing it, I'm just preaching it. Big difference. Alright. I mean, we've definitely got something building here, and I want it to play out here already. Richard, Jesus lad, it just feels like it's been forever. Praying for good times coming through. Yeah, well, it has been forever. 6.5 years. 6.5 years. George says George is good enough. Thank you, Mr. George. I don't remember. I've once seen a show and he kept saying Mr. George. Now it's in my head because I said. Yeah, that's going to be that first tier. We're going to have to get past it. It's just that simple. So we're watching all of this play out. In your opinion, everybody, in your opinion, do you think, and now here's a good time to show the example. Watch. This is what I mean. And today I'm not flustered like before. Last time I was a little flustered when it was starting to happen. And I penalized them. I took a bunch of money off the exchange and put it on BITUNIX. I'm not going to lie. Now it's only my copy trading venture for now. But once they send our $100 vouchers to the affected that we've been talking about. So, look at. So if I bought in, right, our copy trade, if we bought in at 59.67 and the market price 59.71, how are we down 1%, right? Dylan Thomas, just an FYI, all my additional copy trades are failing. What do you mean by that? They're not opening? Well, I mean, I've put, it depends. Do you have $181 in your account right now? If you don't have $181, you're not going to be able to have it fill out. Some people do. I don't know what's going on. This is good to know. This is good to know what's going on. I mean, it's showing me that some of them are opening, so I don't know exactly how much everybody has in it, but 18 people right now are in this copy trade. At what capacity, I have no idea. That's because you're maxed out. Oh, I'm maxed out? Oh, shoot, I'm on XRP. That's right. There's liquidity sometimes because we have so many people doing it. I forgot about that. That's another reason why I need to stay on Ethereum and Bitcoin. You're allowed more people in. The first one opened, the others didn't. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. But let's continue here. So 59.67, it says market price 59. We should be up, right, according to this. But we're down 1.08% or $1.97 overall. At least I am. Some of you all have different, but we're down 1.08% is the point. Because it says right here it's at 59.55. So why show me the market price here? Why? Don't show me that. Why would it show me? Like, that's the problem here. Just delete that price. Because now when I go to buy in, it's going to give me the other price. It's going to give me 59.55. So why confuse the situation? Like if I buy right now, watch. Limit. I'm going to put it at 59.50. Oh, fuck. 59.6. Nope. 59.59. We know it's well below what the other one is. So we're going to buy. Oh, I didn't put the amount back in. Just so you guys know that it's going to be below what it shows below us. So 59.59. Confirm. It bought the 59.59. So now, that's what I mean. So what is these are the two prices. So I'm just trying to be honest with everybody. You know, I could make a lot more money if I was lying to everybody. Believe me. Yeah, some of the things I've been offered, like I could have got $1,000 in my pocket for this mistake that happened on HOTCOIN that's been happening. Instead, I told them I can't do that. I need to compensate the ones who come forward with their UID that were part of that debacle. And there wasn't many people in it when it happened. But I've had 9 people come forward. So that's $900, $100 a person. And I have until 12 o'clock tomorrow, my time, to hand in the UID. So I'm doing the best I can. And trust me, I could have made 1,000 quick bucks, at least for trading funds, that I could have turned into a lot. What's happening? Not enough margin to buy it. No, it caps it. So, like, I'm a copy trader. So I can only do so much liquidity per copy trade, depending on which token it is. So on XRP, there's a set amount. On Bitcoin, it's much higher. On Ethereum, it's much higher, just the way it's set up. I can't explain why. It's like this on every exchange for some reason that I've ever copy traded. At least now I know what's going on. That's not what's bothering me. Normally I don't open so many different, but I had a 5x open instead of a 10x. But I can only say what mine does. Everybody's going to have a different amount. So, the bottom line is, you should at least have $100 open. But yeah, I don't know. I'm doing the best I can to explain it and be as transparent as possible. So I appreciate the understanding of allowing me to get this out. Because there's like 23 people that are copy trading. Only 18 people in this trade out of the 23. But there's a few people that don't have any money in there. You know, and I let you sit in there with no money for a few days, and then after that, it proves to me that you're not gonna. Actually, I'd wait until a 30-day period rolls over. So if you sign up like in August, I'll usually wait until October, or yeah, until October starts, because I don't know in August when you join. So I'll let you sit in there for the rest of August, all of September, and then if no money's in there in your account, I'll just delete it. Because I need to know who's in it. And plus, I only get so many spots, and it takes up, you know, avid spots. So anyhow, I'm tired of talking about that. Copy trading is not supposed to be at the forefront of my updates. That's why when these issues happen, you guys barely even heard me talk about it for the first 60 trades. But I believe it was JW. I think it was a Thriller TV show. I think it was. It was back when we were younger. And I know I think you're the exact same age of me as 40. You know? And we can tell we're getting older. Look. I mean, I feel like although Julie says it's just because I have a widow's peak on the top. But I always feel like, you know, maybe my hair is going back a little bit. But I do have a lot of hair. But as you guys know, still can't cut my hair. We're going on month 14 in September. Since I've cut my hair last, as I told the audience, I wouldn't cut my hair until all-time highs. But I had a out if it hit $1 if I so chose to take that out. But I think I'm gonna go to all-time highs. So Ripple XRP rally to 68 cents in the coming days. Possible, but under conditions. Then we'll look at the crypto greed and fear and greed index. Then we're gonna look at a deeper technicals when we start looking at some of the moving averages and all that and see if they're buy or sell today. And I love looking at it. I know you all love looking at it too. So Ripple XRP rally to 68 cents in the coming days. Well, first I want to, you know what? Before we read this, John, are you still here? Yeah, John, are you still here? John, are you still here? Let's look at Gala real quick and take a real big hardcore look. Because the good news, there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is probably where you bought it. The good news is, yes, there is a GamesCon coming. Now, there's several different ones, and the problem with these GamesCon is you never know which one's going to incite the most interest. Right now, this is one of the bigger ones coming at the end of the month, so something tells me that we could be working on the reversal pattern right now. But here's why I talked about it from a long time ago, that I am not interested until it hits 1 cent. We came very close now, so this could have been the bottom. Is because of this pattern. It had us resistance, support, and support down here. We never hit this. We hit the resistance, never came all the way back around at all. We came up here in March, but I talked about for a very long time, I'm not interested in my long term if I'm going to buy until it hits that 1 cent. And then I'd be willing to buy 100,000 tokens at 1 cent and see what happens. That's been my plan. Now, it did come down to 1.4 cents. It's been 1.4 cents roughly. So we'll look, or 1.3 actually. So it came very close. Very close to my target down there. Here, let me put the price labels on because it just makes it easier. We got a lot more to do with XRP though. So if you leave right now, you're going to miss out on so much. It's going to make you sad. It's going to make me sad too because I don't like when people leave just because I'm talking about something else that's, you know, relevant to somebody else in the audience. So 0.7184, we got there. We've got this structure. We've got that structure, and I missed this one badly. And this is fine. We've got the resistance there, so we're going to pull this one away. And then this was the support. So look what we did here. We went from 7.1 cents down to 1.5 cents. Consolidated around, hit 1.2 cents. Went up to 8.7 cents. So we're creating higher highs and lower lows. We've got a wedge forming. An expandable wedge. We've already hit it twice on each side. This is it's been confirmed. And now it looks like a bullish consolidation at the bottom. At some point, there's going to be a big rally. It's just, you got to be... It's all about the timing. See, crypto is not as hard as it seems. It's all about the timing. It really is. But XRP does matter. XRP is the big one that matters. But some people are into other things in this audience. And the one who asked me about Gala, he's been in Tom's army for a very long time, ladies and gentlemen. A very long time. So, you know, so that's what I'm looking at. But my longer term target is not only to get above 8. See, and then who knows if this will ever materialize. But this is my own personal expectation down the road. Who knows if it's going to be 26, 25, 28. Who the hell knows at this point. But my personal expectation is in time at some point we break this in a bullish fashion. If we break it bearish, we're fucked. Oh, we're fucked. We're going into multiple zeros. And then it doesn't really matter where you buy it. Then you're just kind of screwed until it comes around, if it does. But I fully anticipate, the one who asked me that, my long-term target is still firm. I said this before and I'll say it again. I think in time this is going to break out. Now, maybe it doesn't. Maybe Gala Games, it ends up not hitting the mark. Maybe the network, the ecosystem is a pile of shit and it doesn't materialize. And that happens 9 times out of 10 in crypto. So you got to be careful when you talk long targets. And that's why I don't like projecting on it. I projected on Gala before because I've been asked on it many times by many different people. So I gave a projection. You've got to read into it in the moment, in the right fashion. Now we have more evidence here as well. I fully anticipate this in time to come up to that big target up there. I do. Now the question is, does it? What I expect it to do and whether or not it materializes are two different things. And then when it happens, who the hell knows? But that's what I'm anticipating. So yeah, from here, from where we're at right now, it's a huge gain. If this materializes, then we'll just take this from 1.87. If this you're talking about a 797% gain. Even to here, it's almost 400%. So yeah, it's expecting a lot, but in this consolidation, the way it's happening right now, this looks like a consolidation that should, in time, start pushing back to the top direction. That's what I'm starting to look at. CJ2 Pilot, thanks for being in time zone for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. He says, hello everyone, I'll go back to the start later. Just left the hospital, prayers for my mom. Are welcome. She broke both of her ankles yesterday in a fall. Oh my God. Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. I feel so glad that she's at least okay, to the sense that it's not going to be easy breaking both of them, but at least she's okay. Broken bones can heal over time, and at least she's okay. But, you know, she's going to need some guidance and she's going to need some prayers from everybody. So, you know, in Jesus' name we pray, amen. Because that's going to be a recovery there. There's going to be some therapy, I'm sure, that goes along with that. I don't know if she has surgeries or anything that she's going to need, but I appreciate you sharing that with us. And please be safe on your back and forth, because I know it's stressful in the mind. So make sure you're paying attention, you know, to your surroundings, and just be safe in your travels back and forth. Thank you, everybody, for the amen. You know, as the old saying goes, if there's more than one preaching the name of the Lord, he's present. The Lord becomes present. So I believe the Lord is present with each and every one, and most importantly, CJ2 Pilot and his mother. I truly believe that in my heart. So when I say that I speak religiously, this is what I mean. I don't push it on anybody, but there are times where you'll find me speaking it. Velo's up 10.5%. Excellent. So yeah, that's Gala. I think that's a great rendition there. Real quick, while we're up here, B2 Gold, it's doing exactly what we need it to do right now to tell us whether or not it's going to continue on or not. Right now, we came up to 289 yesterday, which we were very, very fortunate for, the fact that it didn't get rejected initially at 280 when it went down to 277. It actually came up to 289. Now I feel like I've got the real nice pattern that's set up for the expansion out. And we're back testing right now. And we could come all the way down to 278 still. But we're back testing this. This is a pattern breakout now. It's been a long-standing formation. We're back testing it with a V-shaped recovery at that. So this has been a long time coming for a move to 336. So we'll see how that pans out. And I'll speak about that in the future. But we're running out of time. H-bar, JW talked about. And make sure to hit that like button. Almost up to 100 people. And if you want to trade on HOTCOIN, copy trade me, or you're looking to send a donation, or you want to trade on BITUNIX or BLOFIN, just simply click on my page and click on Tom's arm. You get on my page, the home page, and you see where it says BITUNIX and 5 more links. Click there, and it shows BITUNIX, HOTCOIN. And then if you don't want to donate on YouTube, and one person or two, actually 2 people now have taken advantage of this, you can donate on Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. Even during the lives, I make it very easy for you. All you have to do is click on it. It brings you right there. And then there's BLOFIN as well on the bottom. So it's very simplistic how to do that. Or you can join Tom's Army by going to the membership tab or going to the video description below. And you can join Tom's Army. but I'd be very honored and privileged to see more members and yada, yada, yada. So H-bar, see how I try to finesse this? Tanya, welcome in, love. I know you've been in here, but thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. And yes, H-bar, we're going to look at them. We're going to get through that reading. We're going to look at Bitcoin as well. And then we're going to get through the technicals as this live is getting by us. We're already 45 minutes in. I can't freaking believe it. Can never believe it. It always goes so fast. I just say so much. Some of you might have already gone insane. 4.969 is a beautiful area of support, but we've already touched it, ladies and gentlemen. We already came down here and tapped it at 4.9. So now, a lot of the market is showing this. All we need is one spike of volatility across the market. Look at this. One spike of volatility. It's going to look like a completely different pattern, isn't it? You're going to start to see bottom one, true bottom reverse out. And that's if we play the bottom. I'm telling you, we've got such a setup. It's not just with XRP. We have bottomed out on a lot of these. And like with XRP, it's finally got over a 2018 resistance and now bottomed out in the phase of now it's got to push up. Unless everything's going to outright collapse here. And we're going to fall through some big momentous spots here where we've held support for a long time. And with H-bar especially. And when we're looking at it, look at Gala, just like H-bar. It looks like we're at the bottom of the formation and it's getting ready to reverse back up. It feels like the tide's turning here. It feels like the tide's turning here. And it's part of the reason why I did what I did. I put together some stuff, you know, for the thumbnail today. And I don't always do this and take the time to do it. But I did this and I added a lot of stuff to this thing. But I said structure shift for XRP. And then I said it's almost too late. You can see Gary Gensler's on there. You can see one of the bulls has some gold, XRP. And then I said don't meet hate with hate. Meet it with good. And that's what I wanted to point out there. Don't meet hate with hate. Meet it with good. We can drown out all the hate very easily. Very easily. Just meet it with good. You know, if somebody brings violence to you and you can avoid violence, avoid it at all costs. You never want to be that person who incites the violence or expands on the violence. It only leads to bad things and a lot of death. You know, we only get one life. Cherish it. It's the honest to God truth. You get one life, cherish it to the best of your ability. In time, we're looking at a big target here of 21.6 cents. And this is if it materializes, right? And the reason why I say if it don't materialize and it breaks down, you're screwed. We're screwed. Everybody's screwed. And crypto's going to be screwed. And because this, it would just come down so low. And it can't come in the negative, right? So it would end up coming into the multiple zeros. That's what I mean. Like, you come to a certain point when you break down, you throw all the technical targets out the window because now anything's ball game. Like, so you would expect it to be a fake out if it runs through this. We're just running out of room here to come through. Like, if you look at the history and see how far down we are now, you're talking about an asset that was at 57 cents at its peak in 2021. You want to talk about where it's at now? 90% off. There's not much more room than 90% if it's still got some life in it. And I believe H-bar has a lot of life in it. It's got the right contracts. It's got the right maniacal players behind it in the devious world, just like XRP with Ripple. Hey, I said I like it and I own it. I didn't say it was for the good guys. I'm saying I'm backing it because all the bad guys have it, like BlackRock. And I know that means that it's going to be a stable coin in a worldwide unit of exchange. So if you understand what that means, you know, I can see what's going on here, and I'm just going to do what they do. I'm just going to do what they do. Evil intentions and all, I'm just going to do what they do, and I'm going to go along for the ride. My intentions aren't evil, but theirs are. But, you know, some of the good guys also have to get some of this wealth in the transfer. Everybody just gets so caught up in the fact you're going to go to bed one night, and you're going to wake up, and it's $589. I mean, if that's the only reason you bought XRP is because you think the flip of the switch is coming, by all means, I adore you. I adore your innocence. I feel sorry for the fact you've probably been manipulated beyond belief, but I love your innocence. Childlike innocence. Ripple XRP rallied to 68 cents in the coming days. Possible, but under conditions. XRP had a good week and increased by 6% at the time of this post. This brings back optimism for higher levels. Key support is 54 cents. Key resistance, 68 cents. The bulls are back, number one. Buyers dominated the chart this week, and the price quickly showed it. If this momentum continues, then the current target and resistance is found at 68 cents. With the support at 54 cents confirmed last week, buyers have a clear way ahead. They did a beautiful job. They even showed the retracement levels and all. Not a bad looking chart here. 2, momentum shifts bullish. The momentum indicators, and we'll look further into these in a minute. The momentum indicators on the weekly time frame give a clear bullish bias. The RSI, which is the relative strength index, is making higher lows. And the moving average convergence divergence, MACD histogram, is making higher highs. Together with increasing buy volume, XRP has a good shot at reaching 68 cents in the future. Now, just because these things are shifting in our favor does not mean it predicts the future performance. That's why you have to have testicular fortitude. And just because you have the testicular fortitude, that just might mean that you had the fortitude to give away some of your hard-earned money because it didn't pan out. But you must have said fortitude over time to make real gains. Nobody ever made profit without actually putting some money up. You can't make profit without money in to back it. Some of that profit might have been with real estate, but it took, and let me rephrase that. In this case, we're speaking currency. Money is gold and silver. Crypto can be confirmed as money because when you cash it out and it's borderless, it may not be a good store of value of money, but it is a form of money because you can cash it out at any border and get the shitty currency of your choice no matter where you're at. And all of your currency, just read on your note, it's a unit of debt. It's a promissory note of debt. So basically, you went to work all day and got a note that was promising you money. So they gave you a bill. And it's up to you to bring that bill in and redeem it for cash. It's basically like an untamed check. You worked for money. They gave you a useless note. And then they said, come back later and redeem gold. Well, then they banned it many decades ago and brought it back. But that's what the gold standard is. You're supposed to bring in your paper note and get gold and silver. Somewhere along the line, people became... caveman. I don't know how to do anything without telling the media or news. I have no idea how to use functional brain. I see technical analysis in front of me, but I listen to some jackass that lost me a bunch of money in 2021 and who's been wrong for 6 straight years. But because he said it goes up 10,000%, I like this guy and I give him all of my money and I buy his fancy indicators and go broke. That's what happens in today's society. It is. I have brain, but I don't think anymore. I have lawn, but I hire somebody to cut it. I have walls, but somebody else paints it. I mean, this is what's going on. I see in front of me that there's fear in the market, so I'm going to sell. What the hell? It's very greedy. I go buy now. Like, if you could do anything opposite of what I'm saying right now, please do. Because everybody follows what I'm saying, and I hate to be that guy. But that's who I am. Love me or hate me, I'm only me. Buy volume is up. If we take a closer look at the volume, and it's come to a point now where I'm just fed up. I could go through the comments. Look at my comments today. You know? So, God says not to fear. Exactly. And I'm going to embrace who I am like I have. But now I'm not going to be so afraid to, say like I am. So, who's ever going to be here is going to be here, and we're going to do just fine. I'm here for the real ones. I'm here for the ones who want to know the truth, and for the ones who are positivity over negativity. If you have a negative mindset, don't take our energy. If you're always going to look at the negative side of town, you're always going to put people down, you're always going to be the darkness and try to diminish the light, we don't even want you here because you don't want to have your soul and your energy taken from you. When somebody's negative, they start to take from you. You don't want that. You want the positivity. We want positive people in here. We want the light. The light shines through and it always extinguishes the darkness. They always end up leaving because they can't put up with it. So you want to be the light. You don't want to be the bearer of somebody's demise. You want to be the brightness that brings along somebody's glory. You want to help somebody reach their all-time high instead of dropping them to their all-time low because, oh my God, XRP's been stuck here all month. XRP never goes up. This pile of trash owes me. XRP owes me. It better go up to $10. I've been waiting in this for so long. If it even goes up 1,000%, it's not enough. Like, where do we get off being entitled? Where do we get off being entitled telling XRP how high it has to go? Where do we lose our touch? We are investing in something because we believe in the future that we're that we're going somewhere that we believe in. But somewhere along the line, we just feel entitled. I mean, I don't. Most of you don't. Tom's Army doesn't. Tom's Army doesn't feel entitled. You don't have to be a paying member to be in Tom's Army. You can just be a subscriber to the channel and you are part of Tom's Army, just not a paid member. That's all. So, but this is this is where we're at. And you know, it'll probably make some people leave, but that's the way it goes. But I feel comfortable in my own skin. And now that I've gotten my I'm back in the fitness level I want to be in. I've been working out again, and I've got the muscle definition and tone that I'm working even more than I ever thought possible with my broken back again. But it's gonna be 2 years on Halloween this year since I started lifting weights and working out again. I feel friggin' great. You know, I can see my face is so much smaller than my earlier videos. I'm always look back at my 21 and 22 videos, even 23 now. I'm like, man, look how much bigger my face was back then. How big was I? And I didn't feel that big back then, but I must have been a lot bigger, but I wasn't working out or anything. And then I started fasting, as some of you know, back in 22, right before the end of the year. About a month after I started working out again, I stopped eating 16 hours of the day. So I'm sure that's what's helped a lot with my body composition. So I only eat 8 hours of the day. You know, and then I adapted to positivity over negativity. And it's all spiraled in a good way. We've spiraled up, ladies and gentlemen. Most people spiral out of control. I keep trying to tell everybody, consistency breeds the response. Do you know how many times I'm walking to the gym? And I walk to the gym. It's 0.8 miles each way. So it's 1.6 miles. It's actually about a mile, but I say 0.8 so that I don't feel like I'm doing as much. But so a mile each way to the gym. And every day to the gym, so like yesterday I was walking to the gym, I was so friggin' sore. I'm like, oh man. But once you get there and you get into it, you're like, oh, this. And then when you get out of the gym, when you're walking home now on that mile, oh man, I feel fucking great. Man, my muscles feel good. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful. And you get that positivity. If you can beat yourself in the gym up for an hour a day, you know, 5 days a week, imagine what you can do. Imagine the people who don't beat their bodies up and beat it into shape. Because it's a grind. And if you can go through that grind, how else do you think I can do all of this? I like to do the same thing over and over. But watching the daily change, it's not that there's no difference. People will be like, oh, you do the same updates. You do the same content. You go to the gym. It's all the same. No, it's every day's different. You know, when I took my shirt off today and I was shaving and I looked in the mirror, I'm like, oh my God, who the hell is that guy? Because it catches me off guard sometimes, because I used to be 265 pounds when I was in high school. So I still see this big fat kid with a, 52% BMI. You know, it was bad. There was no muscle tone to high school, Tom. You know, and I was a very good athlete too, which is a miracle. And I could run fast. I was an anomaly. So, you know, now it's like, who the hell is this guy? You're 40 years old. Why do you look like... And I'm so glad I was like I was back then and I am now. So anyhow, let's continue. I've babbled on for so long, everybody's probably leaving. It's already been an hour. This is crazy. We still got one more thing to look at. Buy volume is up. If we take a closer look at the volume, we can see that buyers are making higher highs and have dominated the chart since July. This is a very positive sign that shows they have control of the price action at this time. Hopefully they can break the current resistance to push XRP into a sustained rally. And then there's XRP's weekly volume. We can see we've had some surges. So time is absolutely running out. Chris Miles says, one night in Bangkok will unravel your world. Don't go there. Stay positive. I don't know. The Bangkok norm has become the worldwide norm now, unfortunately. I'm not going to go any farther, but you know what I mean. The crypto fear and greed index, still mind-boggling. Is that a fear? It's still fear. We're still in fear. You know how good this is? You know how great it, and it's probably going to be lower in 51 minutes. But we're in fear right now. It says now it's at 26. No, I was going to say that's yesterday. So we're still very much fear. So that's interesting. We're going to look at Bitcoin, and then we're going to read through the indicators for XRP, and then I'm going to let you guys go. 60,407 down 748, down 1.22%, but I don't see anything bad here right now. What's bad? I can take away the micromanaging of the levels. That's all those were in front of us, was the micromanagement. Right now, I mean, we're still on top of the 200-day and the daily. That's all I need to know with Bitcoin. As long as we're over 59,000 and current times 400 area, we're over the daily support on the 200 and the 4 hourly. We're fighting with it right now. We've had these bullish crosses and we're trying to take over the 200-day at 60,800. The fact we're riding the 20-day all day today is all I need to know. That's all I need to know. If we're riding the 20-day and the 4 hourly and we're on top of the 200-day and the daily, the next thing that comes is retaking the short-term 200 and the 4 hourly. It still looks very bullish to me. And I argue with everybody, and I continue to argue, unless you agree with me after all, then you're the smartest people in the room. Because if you agree with me, you're smart. If you disagree with me and you have a good point, you're smart. But if you disagree with me just because you think I'm an asshole or you're just a jackass and you don't know otherwise, well, then you're just a dummy. You don't want to try to overtalk somebody who's got a lot of experience if you don't have experience. Now, if you have more experience and you think I'm full of shit and you can prove it, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, wait a minute, I'd missed something here. Well, I encourage you to give me some constructive criticism. But most people will say something so stupid and they'll say, well, I'm just giving you constructive criticism. No, you're giving me constructive ignorance. There's a big difference. Constructive criticism is helping me. Constructive ignorance is you just trying to spout off, knowing something, talking about something you have no clue of what you're even speaking of. That's constructive ignorance, I call it. Constructive ignorance. It's a new word I just created. I want constructive criticism, not constructive ignorance. Our whole society is one big constructive ignorance. They all think they're having constructive responses, but they're a bunch of dopes. You know, we're all part of society, even me, so I'm calling myself a dope if you think I'm calling you a dope. And if it fits, you know, it fits. I can't help that. But most of you are cool. So if it fits, it fits. It was 26 and 22 and it felt way... Oh, it did. It felt... Everything feels... Everything's so different now than it was even a couple years ago. It really is. Oh no, your liquidity price, CJ2 Pilot. I'm not in a cross margin. Unless somehow I open cross margin, which if I did, I'm going to be pissed. There's no way I could have though, because it's not changing my margin. Yeah, I'm in isolated. No. The only way you can get, and you're not going to get liquidated, listen. There's no way we can get liquidated in this trade. As far as our $100, whatever you have invested, you cannot be liquidated entirely. I have a stop loss right now and with everything I've put in, my estimated loss right now is $22. It's $22. The take profit right now is at, the stop loss, where did I have it at? Liquidation's 48 cents if we don't have a stop loss. It could go down to 48 cents without us being liquidated on this trade. It's only a 5x trade. But I have it right now, the take profit, the stop loss at 58.22. And I reserve the right to change that if I want. But that's where I have it in case there's an overzealous sell-off and we drop 10% all at once. You know, we won't get liquidated of our price. We'll lose. In that case, it's about, we can look at it together. Let's see. What did I say? 50... What did I say? 58.22? Yeah. It's about 12% is that stop loss. No. That's a good... No, actually, that's a good... That's what I mean. That's a good question. Don't be sorry. If I was copy trading, I sure as hell would like to know that too. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't in cross margin because then I could have screwed everybody. No, we're in isolated. So right now... The margin is exactly what's in it. That margin's not going to change. It's isolated. And right now, the stop loss is at 58.22. We're only down 1.17% on a 5x trade. I wanted to do a 10x, but because of the differential on the exchange, I figured I would, it's a 0.15. It's 0.015, so I figured I would, keep it settled a little bit. So, but yeah, that's where we're at right now, folks. I love that everybody's being, with me. And if you're part of the copy trade, unfortunately, the hardest thing for some people is to lose money. It might be your best lesson. Because then the next time you do something right after doing something wrong, it's that much more, it's so much more enjoyable. Right now on the day, Oh, this is Bitcoin is a sell. Let's see XRP. So you've seen Bitcoin's a sell on the day. Whoops. And if you want to do this, go to TradingView, go to the XRP symbol, and then go to symbol details. So right now it's showing XRP as a buy still. It maintains a buy. Maintains a buy. Last week we're up 4.9%. Last month down 1.87% as we're 29 minutes until the daily close on the Eastern Standard Time Zone. It closes at 8 p.m. Fear means buy more. You're damn right it does. And I have on the side on BITUNIX, I have a 600. What is this? I have a slightly bigger trade on BITUNIX. I have a $636 trade right now. And that was opened at $59.69, but then I've worked it down to $59.61. So almost exactly the same, but I've got about $800 or $700 in margin almost within that trade. But that's like a 16x trade. So, you know, if that one goes down, I'm talking about I could lose a couple $100 there. So, yeah, it would suck to lose 15 with the copy trading, but that's the risk I'm taking. And more times than not, I trust it. So anyhow, 3 months up 13%, 6 months up 11.87, year to date minus 2.86, and last 1 year we're up 14.72%. It's a buy. We go to more technicals. So in the daily, it's a buy. In the weekly, it's a strong buy, and the moving average is wow. And then we'll go to the 4 hourly because that's what we're going to do right now. It's a neutral in the 4 hourly, and that's mainly because we're getting mixed signals here in the shorter time frame because of how the day went. And you can see all the sell signals we got today, and then we'll see the underneath buy. So this is important because look where we're at right now. We're in the buy zones right now. So let's go through this. We've got overall 7 sells, 10 neutrals, 9 buys, which makes it neutral. 9 buys, 5 sell, 1 neutral for the moving averages. 9 neutral, 2 sells, making it a sell for the oscillators. The Fibonacci retracements, or the Fibonacci levels, is support 353 cents, support 254.4, support 155.2, pivot point 56.5, resistance 1 passed, we're on top of 57.9, resistance 2 on top of, currently this is a support structure at 58.7, resistance 3 we're trying to get over currently at 60.09 cents. Now the oscillators, the relative strength index 14, neutral. Thank you so much, Brian. He says you're awesome for the $5 donation. I love his little message. The person reading this is awesome. Anybody reading it is awesome. Stochastic percent is 14.33, neutral. Commodity channel index 20, neutral. Average directional index 14, neutral. And this is in the 4 hourly, remember. Awesome oscillator, neutral. Momentum 10, sell. Moving average convergence divergence level 1226, sell. Stochastic RSI 331414, neutral. Williams percent range 14, neutral. Bull bear power, neutral. Ultimate oscillator 71428, neutral. Exponential moving average was a sell at 59.86 cents. Simple moving average 10 was a sell at 59.9. Right now it's a buy at 59.5 cents. Where are we at right now? It's signaling a buy at 59.5 cents right now. Where's XRP at right now? Hold on. We're at 59.7. So 59.5, remember this is a buy right now. Well, we don't need to remember. We'll see it right in front of us in just a sec. So, 59.5 cents buy. 59.9 was a sell. Exponential moving average 30. If it's at 591, buy. SMA 30, buy at 59.05. EMA 50, buy at 58.62. This is beautiful. All the underneath levels are a buy. Exponential moving average 50, buy 58.6. Simple moving average 50, buy 58.06. Exponential moving average 100-day, buy at 57.96. SMA 100, buy 57.62. EMA 200, buy 56.94. SMA 200, buy at 58.23. Ichimoku baseline 926.52.26, neutral 58.82. Volume weighted moving average 20, sell at 60.04, which played out. Hall moving average 9 played out as a sell at 59.8. So right now we have a lot of underneath buy opportunity, and it's going to flip here at 8 o'clock again. So these were the buy targets leading starting at 3 or 4 o'clock. And now at 8 o'clock, who knows where it's going to be. I'm still overly optimistic here. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I gotta go. We're gonna be doing our third feeding for our son. I appreciate everybody who stayed around.